Welcome to the Richest Talk, and in today's episode, we are thrilled to host Rob Mark, a seasoned tennis professional with over 30 years of international experience as a coach, player, and manager. Rob has coached at some of the world's most prestigious tennis clubs and has played alongside legends like Boris Becker and Rob Lever. So with a profound understanding of both the physical and mental aspects of tennis, Rob will share insights on how the principles of tennis can help us achieve our personal best, both on and off the court. Hello, Rob. How are you?
Hi, thanks. I'm fine.
Thank you for coming on our show and being our guest today.
Thanks a lot.
So, Rob, I want to start with your journey and expertise. You have an incredible family history in tennis, with your father, Bob Mark, being Rod Lever's doubles partner. How did this legacy influence your career?
Well, from an early age, I was actually introduced to tennis through my father. So I had to follow him after his professional career to coaching. So I started coaching at 5 years old with him and going to the club every Saturday morning. And he was playing league, following him to the league matches. And so I just followed him around, and he actually in the beginning took me everywhere. So it actually influenced my desire of tennis. And to be quite honest, I had a bit of a good ball eye hand coordination, so it helped as well. I think I inherited that from him and my mother as well. She's also a professional player, so that all helped. Tennis in the family, my mother's family were all tennis professionals as well, so it was basically
it's in your DNA. It's in the genes.
In the genes, yeah.
So both sides, the mother and the father side, they're all professional tennis players.
They actually met in Europe at a tournament, and so they were both professionals. So that's basically how it all started. So I didn't have a choice in the matter, but I enjoyed it. I went everywhere, and that's how
born to be.
Yeah, born to be.
Born to be.
Yeah.
So look, you've made it to a very good success, from playing in the German's Bonds League to coaching globally.
Yeah.
Along the journey, what moments have shaped your perspective on tennis, apart from your family genes?
Yeah, well, it's just the difference of all the players, the different styles, the different players, the different attitudes they have, the watching certain players play. Also getting role models is very important. If you like who is your best player and you follow him and you learn, and then it's a big circle, family circle, basically, tennis. So you're meeting lots of different kinds of people. Obviously some you enjoy more than others, but there's always that. The problem with tennis is, well, it's actually not a problem, is you by yourself. It's an individual sport. You make friends, you do teamwork, but when it comes down to playing, it's all depends on you, no one else. So the journey is a tough journey. Everyone thinks it's all fun. It's a very hard journey to get there, but you've got to just persevere and go through it. You've got to just realize you're going to have more downs and ups, but that's just the way it is. Not just in tennis, I think that's in life as well. So
absolutely.
But the enjoyment factor, if you don't enjoy what you're doing, then it doesn't matter in what walk of life you're in. If you don't enjoy it, then you're not going to have fun, and you're not going to want to do it and exceed. And so it's all very, it is, as we're going to talk about the mental aspect, is that's what it's all about. It doesn't matter how you are.
We definitely want to talk about the fun part. So everyone loves tennis. There's so many opens, in Australia, in Europe, in so many places that people have a passion, to watch tennis, and they get excited. I have friends and clients, family members who love playing tennis. Just like what you said, they have to enjoy this sport first.
Yes.
But after enjoyment comes perseverance, endurance, and physical training, mentality training. So talking about the physical and mental benefits. So tennis demands precision, endurance, and also agility. So what key physical benefits does tennis offer, and how can players maximize these benefits?
Well, the benefits in tennis in general is it's a cardio sport as well. So it's actually a very healthy sport. It's a lot of quick movements, short movement bursts, sprints, moving forwards, backwards, sideways. So it's a very intense physical game, which, if you are playing on a competitive level, it's a lot more physical than if you're just playing on a social level where you're enjoying it a little bit and having fun and moving around. So the aspects of that, if you're not prepared mentally to take that pain and strain of building your fitness and going through the what we say is the ups and downs of getting to that fitness level which you require, then it's not really a sport for you. So your mindset together with the physical aspect has to be top, and you have to develop it. You have to start from scratch. You have to work your way up and know there's going to be along the way you're going to have struggles, you may have injuries, you may have this, but you got to keep going. It's like everything. So I think the mental the physical aspect is a big toll. There's a lot of players that I've known and seen that were really good, and physically something went wrong, they had an injury, it's very tough to come back. So
and how do you approach that physical fitness and also injury prevention for players at various skill levels, like for example a beginner, medium, or a very professional tennis player?
Yeah, at the beginning it's all basically footwork, so you got to get everyone to do the little steps, the side steps, and you increase that. When you got the beginners, you got to have a level where obviously where you start, you warm them up, you do exercise with them and let them enjoy it and develop it from there. There's a lot of kids that are overzealous and just try to start and just going 100 miles an hour, everything, and doing everything too quick, and think if they're the quickest and the strongest they'll improve. So you have to set the bar at the beginning, just saying this is the way we're starting off. Even I know some of you, if you've got a group of kids or squad that you're coaching, some of you are probably a little faster and quicker, some a little slow, but we're setting the bar level here, and we're doing it and we're developing it step by step. And I think that's also important because you can't have someone just going too quick. It's just not the way it's done. You've got to do the step by step level, and then when you see they're achieving stuff, they've reached the peak, they've reached a level, then it's obviously increased, and then you have to work them. Then they have to feel that there's, as the saying goes, no pain, no gain.
No pain, no gain. And you need to increase the pain, but you start with the smaller steps and then build upon it. So you can't go full on at the beginning and then you get burned out.
No, you've got to. It's all got to be depending on what your student wants. You can actually. It's important in the beginning to find out. I think one of the important things is everyone has a different character, personality. You've got to work on that as well. See their limits. Know their limits, get to know your student well, and then work on their their capabilities, and build it from there. Because know
their boundaries, and then you need to let them know their boundaries, where they are, how their character and their personal circumstance, personal capability, and then work from their base.
Yes, and when they've reached that level, which they can do, and they're doing well, then you take them up to the next step. But you can't just go with somebody who is not that capable of getting there that quick. You've got to do the slow part, and then once they've reached that peak, and then you can see that they're going to develop, that's when you start putting on pressure, and they got to work, because that's the only way to get there. So I think very important aspects in coaching should be know your student. You've got to get to know your student, the way they are, their personality, their fitness, their everything about.
This is very similar to in business. We have know your customer well. You got to know who your customer is. You got to know your service. You got to know your strengths, your expertise, and then find that way to succeed in business. It's very similar from tennis growth and to business, to any other part of the growth. So that's why I want to hear more about you. Talk about the mental game of tennis. Do you work with elite players and also beginners alike? What mental qualities are essential for the success in tennis?
Well, nearly everyone, no one, put it this way, likes to lose. No one likes to come second. No one likes to lose. They all want to give their best, and if they give their best and they don't win, then they're upset. They don't realize, how can I lose when I'm giving my best? So the first aspect is just to get them mentally prepared and say, you are going to lose more than you're going to win. But you've got to, and it's just the way it is. It's a life progress. It's a bit hard, and they look at you, but I want to win. You're going to win. But in the beginning, when you're building up, you are going to lose more than you're going to win. But you work on those mistakes that you found from that losing aspect, and that's where you build. So that's the point that a lot of them don't realize. They just want to win at all possibilities, and they don't even realize that that's not the way. If we were all built like that, we'd all be number one in the world. So that's just the problem.
That's just the reality. There's only one winner. There's only one number one, and all the other is the following
Exactly.
ranking.
So the most important is just to them to realize that, and then the only way they're going to achieve something in tennis is as I mentioned it before earlier, you've got to enjoy what you're doing. You've got to have fun. You've got to have the passion, the drive, the want to do it. It's not if your mother or your father wants you to do it or this. It's got to come from you. If it's not coming from you personally, then there's no ways you are going to achieve anything. So
yeah, absolutely. You got to have your inner drive, the motivation from your inside out to want to do this. It's your desire. So it's your burning desire to actually do it, and no one else is influence you.
Exactly. What I saw a couple of years back, I saw a video interview of Nadal, Djokovic, and Federer when they were about 6-7 years old, and they all three said, "I want to be number one in the world." It came from them.
Their heart.
Their heart. That's what they wanted, and at that young age, and it just shows you that was their passion. That was what they wanted, and they worked their way up, and the rest is history.
And what you just said in the beginning is very, very important, because a lot of people, they just want the success, but they don't want failure, and they don't like failure. But what you just said is we need to embrace failure and learn from failure when we started off, and to build us up on it, because to start the journey, you're going to have more failures. This is the fact. More failures than success.
Yeah, that's the fact. That's what they actually have to realize. It doesn't matter how their egos are, how they're playing, even if they played well. I've played well a lot of times and I lost and I was so depressed, but that's the way it is. And you take it up. You take it as a loss, even if you play good, as well. That's it. I gave my best. I did my best. Now I'm going to see what I can do after that. So it's building on every match you've had, game you've had, practice you've had, is building on that. It's just working on things that you may feel uncomfortable with, that you're not comfortable with, or the unforced errors you made, working on that, and not just trying to work on all the big shots and that are just going to bring you points. So it's a long progress here.
Absolutely. I think that's very, very important reminder, even for people in business. They want to, be the success, the number one in the industry. We need to learn what areas that we're not doing well, that we are not, gaining the market share, not gaining the trust of our client, and how can we make it better? How can we improve on that, instead of just wanting to be the number one, but we need to work on all the failures that we have. That's very good reminder. So how can the lessons from tennis, like focus, resilience, adaptability, apply to everyday life and achieving personal goals, from your opinion?
I think it's all interlinked to me. It's everything. It's what life is about. It's you even in business, even in relationships, even with everything, you're going to have your ups and you're going to have your downs, and you just got to accept that. And you got to work on to build up those downs and just get out of your down. If you're in a down personally or tennis, you hit a bit of a low, your motivation's not there, and you're feeling sorry for yourself. You've got to. You can stay like that for a little bit, just to get that. It's normal, it's human, but you got to get out as quick as possible. You can't sit in that and stay at that level, because then you're just going to sink. You've got to pick up and say, right, that's it, it's over. And the quicker you do it, the better. I think that's the difference between you could probably say the top three in the world, Nadal, Djokovic, and Federer, is they can pick themselves up from a mistake on the court quickly and forget about it and carry on, where others tend to dwell on some mistakes and some unforced errors. And so the quicker you get out of that, the better, in general, in life, in everything. And then work on where your strong points are, work on them, build your strong points, because that's inside of you. That's part of you, is your strong points. Some things you can do good, some things you're really good at, some things that come easy to you. That's your character and that's your strong points. So build on that, but don't forget the weak ones and work on them. You can build them.
Work on the weak ones, but strengthen your strengths, your best quality and your expertise, and to improve the ability, the probability to win again, but have to bounce back quickly. Not the well in the failure, not the well in the downs. That's called resilience and adaptability.
Yeah.
So and try to forget the failure, not let the failure affect you, and then come back, fight again.
Exactly.
I think that's very, very, very important in all aspects of our life, not just in tennis, in all the work, job, career, relationship, family, money, even you invest. There are all different areas. So don't dwell in the downs. Come back quickly. That's very, very good reminder. Thank you for that message. I think that's really important, especially to our audience who may or may not experience the downside of the life. It's just part of life. Everyone goes through life. There's a storm. There will be tornadoes. It's like you're sailing the sea. It's not always sunny. It has storm. It's not always peaceful. It's gonna have waves.
Exactly.
And okay, so from your coaching philosophy, how do you tailor it to your students' needs? Because everyone, they may not have that mentality. They may not have that family genes. They may not have the burning desire. They may just say, I just want to do it, but I may not find that passion. How do you tailor it to each of your students?
Well, when I start with my students, I try get the fun side. So I don't start off as a serious coach. Right, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. I start off by showing them what they got to do, but joking. I like to joke with my kids and make them feel comfortable. The first thing that I do when I get a new student or young student, doesn't matter who, I make them feel comfortable. I'll joke a little bit, make them feel that they're in a comfortable environment, and then showing them the strokes and easy stuff and working through like that. And then basically getting to know them. People also forget there's a period when you're coaching where you pick up tennis balls and you put them in the basket and stuff like that. And that's also, for me, important as a tennis coach to get to know your students as well. So while you're both picking the balls up, you ask them a few questions. So what do you like? What do you do? How do you do this? So you get to know them as a person and their personality as well. I think there's a lot of people who don't do things like that. I've seen coaches coaching. I mean, we're all different, put it that way. But they don't focus too much on the person. It's more on the style, the playing and the play and the tennis, which is also obviously important. But I think the person is important. So everyone's got a different character, and that's why you've got to find that character. Speak to them. Some are a little more serious. Some are not as serious. Some just want to run around and cause chaos. And you've got to bring them down as well. So that's starting with the kids. But most important aspect I've learned through my whole tennis career is find out who that person is and work on their character. And through my experience in tennis, I can see what they need and what they want and how to push them up when I can push them up to the next level, when it's possible, or how I can go, because everyone's different. If I have a group of beginners, they can all be 6 or 7 years old. Not one of them will play the same. One will be strong, one will have a better eye-hand coordination, one will be weaker, one will be a lot weaker, but they all want to play. So you've got to adjust to that. So that's very important to me.
And from your engagement, finding out who they are and their character, can you share a success story of someone whose life transformed through tennis?
I had one kid come to me, and the mother used to say to me before that he hasn't really got any friends. He's an introvert. He doesn't like to go out and do things, and he's got a bit of problems. And I said, and they said, but I want to let him just get out and do a bit of sport, but he's not into team sports. So I thought I'd start with tennis. So I said, sure. And it came, and he was basically hiding behind the mother, didn't want to show his face and stuff like that, and very, very introverted. So I think the first thing that I did then, I didn't actually start with the tennis side. I just started talking to him normally and joking and giving him a blue racket and saying it's a yellow racket. And then he'll arouse their curiosity, and because a kid won't hold back, they'll tell you the truth. They'll say, that's not red, that's blue, blah, blah, blah. And just work on it like that. So you've got to just open it, as I said, break the ice, open it up before. You can't just jump into the tennis, because then it's not going to work. You've got to open that person first, and then when he feels a little confident and opened a bit, then you take him on the court. So that aspect of me, that kid was very difficult in the beginning, and then even on court when I was showing him, he was quiet, he didn't speak. I think it was a couple of weeks, but he didn't even say a word to me. And then after months and months went on, I mean, it wasn't one of my greatest player ever or something, but it's a success story of how a person can change on the tennis court. After 6 months, even I couldn't believe it. I had to stop him from talking to me, where it was the other way around before. He was very open, and even his mother said he couldn't believe the transformation in him like that. And he was enjoying what he was doing as well. So he did find a passion for the tennis, but he just didn't let it out in the beginning because he was too introvert. And I think it was just, as I said in the beginning, I think the most important thing with my success with him was just getting to know him and open him up and find that person inside, and not just go straight on to, right, here's the forehand, here's the backhand, here's the volley, etc. So it's, as I said, that all depends, and if you is knowing the person you're coaching and taking time to get to know them.
And I think that person or that boy through tennis has found his passion, his confidence. At least he enjoying his life more. He has more happiness and more joy through working with tennis, and also, you know, working with you through your help, finding the, you know, what he can be more proud of and more confident and be more happy in his life, I think.
Yeah, and that, to be quite honest, I mean, I'm a tennis player, I'm a tennis coach, but that gives me just as much enjoyment, even if he's not a successful tennis player or a great tennis player, than coaching someone who's developed into a good player. It's just the same to me.
Yeah.
It's just very...
And what advice would you give to those wanting to use tennis as a tool for personal growth, whether for fitness, discipline, or mental well-being?
I think tennis has got a bit of everything. My father told me before, he says, Rob, it doesn't matter if you play and you play good and you travel, you play tournament. He says tennis opens every door for you. You know, it doesn't just open. Our coach in Germany, I got to know top CEOs, top managers, this, that. We talked to them on their first name, other people. It didn't put you on a level against, you know, for example, the rich, the richer, the more. It just, you're all on the same level. You're playing a game, you're enjoying the sport, you're talking. So to me, that's the good thing about tennis. If you're playing a lot, it puts you together with all different kinds of people, different levels, different languages, different cultures, and you're all the same. You basically focus, you're on the same thing. Even your fitness, you're working on your fitness, you're running the same, you're doing the same exercise together, you're playing points together, you're doing everything, you're talking afterwards when you're collecting the balls, you're getting to know each other, you're making friends.
Yeah.
And you play tournaments, you're meeting people. So it's meeting people. You meet so many different people in every walk of life through tennis. And eventually it will open some other doors for you, or contacts, or even
opportunities.
You know, opportunities in life. It has for me, and that's just the way it is. And it's not that I'm going out looking for those opportunities. That's what happens when in the game.
And then you meet people like with the same desire, same mindset alike, same mentality, because you all have the same interest, passion in tennis. You all know that, you know, that requires resilience and adaptability and focus. So and also physical health. I think that's very, very eye-opening message, because people who have never played tennis, they might just treat it as a sport, but it can be a lifelong journey tool to get your relationships, your business, your physical health, you know, get it to another level through tennis.
Yeah, exactly.
And for those who hesitate to start, how can they overcome the initial challenges and enjoying the journey?
Well, it's basically, you just, like every walk of life, you just got to go out there and do it and try it. You just basically got to go on the court. So, you know, if you're a kid or an adult, it doesn't matter. Some people are basically intimidated because if I join a group, then I haven't played before, I'm going to be the weakest and they might laugh. You just got to take that step. I've had groups with adults and kids where come in and there's always one that's weak or hasn't played before and scared, and you just got to encourage them. And they actually, as I said, the enjoyment factor, but the biggest step is to get them to go and just try it. And I think once they realize it's not as, you know, bad as it was or they thought it would be, because they are accepted. If you're in a group like that and you're starting at a beginner level, intermediate level, people are going to accept you. It doesn't matter. It's not like,
so you have the same similar group, you can all start from the same line.
Like if you're doing an advanced kids playing, you know, you've got to more or less try keep it. You keep it, obviously the stronger ones, the bit weaker ones, but you try keep it more or less the same level. You can't throw in a weaker person in one group. But with the social aspect and the beginner, intermediate, it's not as important. Okay.
I used to play table tennis. I love table tennis. For tennis, I just thought it's a bigger court. It's like you're playing the table tennis on the table with the bigger racket.
Yeah.
And running around takes more time. So table tennis, you don't move as large as tennis. Yeah. For people who play other sports, how can they learn to try the tennis?
I've had a lot of people come to me now from playing badminton or table tennis. And the thing with the badminton, table tennis players that come to me is they've got the eye-hand coordination. Hit it's just the movements are different. I've had, if you're a table tennis and a badminton player, you let the ball come, basically the shuttle or the ball come to you, and you're using a lot more wrist, and the steps are different. So you've got to, it's just that adjustment to it, where at the beginning it's not, I've had a lot of them where they hit the ball and it goes, flies away because they too much wrist. So you've just got to tell them about the basics now. It's just hitting the ball in early, keeping the weight forward and staying through the follow through. The swing's a little different, but they have got the eye-hand coordination, but it's just tennis is just going and getting that ball early in front of you with weight transfer, weight behind the ball. And it's just that they have a bit of difficulty in the beginning, but then they start adapting, but they've got that eye-hand coordination, which is good, but it's just that few different aspects that you have to get used to.
Brilliant. So what's next for you in your coaching journey, and how do you plan to continue inspiring excellence in others in your career?
Well, I've had a lot of options in which direction to go in my tennis career. Most coaches try specifying certain criteria into either advanced players, squad players, provincial, whatever. But I've actually found I've got a chance of going into I've done a bit with the professional players here and top players through a very good tennis coach friend of mine who's Daniel Dobinov, and he does just tournament players, good players. It's very good. I enjoy that as well, but my personality now, I'm more suited to making people enjoy the game. So I'm putting my effort not into I've got good players and I've got weaker players, but I'm not putting all my efforts into tournament top players at the moment. I do coach some tournament players and I help my other coach friends, but I want to help people who want to enjoy the sport, come out, try it for the first time, get groups together and let them just have fun and see the fun aspect of learning. And nothing is more satisfying to me seeing someone come who can't really hit a ball in the beginning, having problems, and then 6 months to a year down the road they're actually hitting the ball like you can't believe, and you just wish all these people that you had a video of them from the beginning to the end so you can show the different
show the results, so the difference.
And the progress, I enjoy seeing progress. I'm not a coach that just wants money. I just want to, if you're not progressing, then I don't know, I want to see you develop.
Change.
I want to see you develop and enjoy it. That's more important to me than anything.
You want to see the best version of themselves.
That's it, what they want exactly.
And that's what they want as well.
Yeah, and seeing them enjoy it while they're doing it, because I think a lot of them didn't realize. I've had a lot of comments from my adults and the kids after their first lesson. Oh, that was fun, that was so good, enjoyed that so much. And that's because you want to get that fun aspect as well. It's not just the serious aspect, a combination of both.
And that's what I ultimately believe. I have a 3E principle, growth principle. It's called entertain, educate, empower. So you have to find the entertainment part to start the journey, and then you learn. Without the entertainment part, you just feel dry, and then you just don't want to learn. With the entertainment, and you educate, and then you empower other people. You empower more people to get better. You empower your audience, your students, even empower yourself. I think that's very important. And what you're doing, it definitely is empowering other people to find their personal best in their, physical or mental capacity, and also, find the confidence, especially for people who are introvert, who don't, feel shy, and then they don't have the joy in their life. Why not try tennis? Try some sports, and tennis is one of the options that you can definitely start. So thank you, Rob, for sharing your wealth of knowledge and passion for tennis. And it's been very inspiring to hear how the sport offers a pathway for personal excellence and blending physical and mental growth. And to our listeners, if Rob's insights have resonated with you, why not pick up a record and start your own journey and have a taste? And if you're looking for professional guidance or coach, feel free to reach out to me for connection or advice, or feel free to see Rob himself, and he will help you find your sunlight, find your confidence, and find the joy of your life, and see you better, see you change. So thank you very much, Rob, and thank you, everyone. And I want to see you next time.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me, Jeffrey. It was really nice. Thanks.
Thanks.